Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to another Drak Vlogs for E3 2018. And it's time for us to take on the first of the three console makers as we technically review Microsoft Xbox's conference, or the Xbox conference for 2018. Now, if you guys haven't seen my EA conference review, we're going to be following kind of the same formula, which is we're going to talk about what they did right, what they did wrong, and kind of do a final grading for it. So you guys can go on with other coverage and also get to the trailers that maybe I talk about. So first of all, there was a lot to cover in the Xbox conference. So if people couldn't actually tell, I've got my tablet right here to go into it. And I might have to refer to this a lot because the Xbox conference literally promised 50 games to talk about. And so we're just going to go down the list and I'm going to go into what I liked, what I disliked. This time around, I'm going to start with the positives because here's the thing. My overall outlook on the Xbox conference was positive. They promised 50 games. They talked about 50 games, and a lot of the stuff that they had to announce was left hooks. It was literally out of nowhere. Nobody expected it, or everything that they had to announce was simply rumor. So you didn't have a whole lot to work with. So we're just going to go down my list really quick of the stuff that they went, not point for point, but I'll go into the stuff I liked. The first trailer was Halo Infinite, and this is a like. I'm going to be honest here. It's a like bordering on iffy for me because the trailer looked awesome. I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but it looked great and almost made me way better than any other Halo trailer has want to go and pick up the previous Halo stories just to get myself caught up and do a review for Halo Infinite. That was a really good trailer and a really great reveal, and is kind of reminiscent, at least to me, of when people would tell me when they saw the Halo 3 reveal. You know, having that whole moment in the desert and a gust of wind blows the hood off and it's the Master Chief. I have a feeling it was kind of like that for them. I haven't talked to them specifically about the trailer, but having, just the Master Chief helmet show up out of nowhere was a really good idea to just say, yes, Halo 6 is being worked on, or I'm sorry, Halo Infinite, and you can get more information about it soon. The next one was also a solid victory for me, as they once again showed Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I, to this day, have not gotten to Blind Forest, but I swear I'm going to, especially after this trailer. I'm very interested in what this game has to provide, and it's one of the indie games that I'm looking forward to on Xbox. It was beautiful, stunning, dark, as well as bright. I had highs and lows in the trailer, and that's to me a good execution of a trailer. So very excited for Will of the Wisps. My next positive was a while now, and I'll also go into kind of a couple of iffy ones that I didn't really have a whole lot into. The next positive one, it took a little while to get there, but I'm not a fan of this series. At least I haven't played it, although we do have plans to do it later. We got an offshoot in the Life is Strange universe called The Awesome... I have to make sure I'm saying it right. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. And so Life is Strange is one that my buddy Brinton Volley of BPV Gaming has been recommending for years. And it's not like I haven't been interested. It's just I've been trying to find a way to be able to do it. And Captain Spirit might have just been my gateway. Like I'm really looking forward to this one. It's basically a little kid who imagines being a superhero, and you see things from both perspectives. It was really, really cute. And I look forward to being able to play this episode 1 on June 26th when it's coming out. That was a high for me. I wasn't a Life is Strange fan before that much, but I am now because Captain Spirit looks amazing. Then it took a while again for me to get anything positive out of it. And the thing that got me back into the positive was a left hook, as far as I'm concerned, from Microsoft. Now, I should preface this. Early before the Microsoft conference, in fact, way early in the morning, a Kingdom Hearts orchestra had happened where they got a unique trailer, but they also got the reveal of the release date for Kingdom Hearts 3, which is January 29th, 2019. Finally, we have a light at the end of the tunnel. For those who have been waiting up to 7 to 14 years, you have a light at the end of the tunnel. Kingdom Hearts is going to be within your grasp within 6 to 7 months, okay? All you have to do is just wait. That's great. And that's what the left hook was. A lot of people did not expect Kingdom Hearts to show up at the Xbox conference, and it did. They actually had a unique trailer, different from what the orchestra got, and different from what the other conferences that got one got. So that was actually really cool to be able to see, and they had a big reveal for that as well. You guys can look that up. I'm not necessarily going to go into it, but I'm going to give props to Xbox, because I've been trying to sit here going, does Xbox even have any reason to advertise Kingdom Hearts 3? A, because they don't have the previous other games, and B, because, you know, it doesn't really cater to the Xbox fans. And they did. So I'm going to give them buku props for actually doing that. That was really awesome. And then it took a while for me to get anything that I was legitimately interested on. It actually took a little bit of business to get me back and interested into positives. And that was the announcement that Microsoft had acquired 5 new gaming studios to basically utilize as like second party. And the ones that they got, first of all, they created a new studio called The Initiative. They also welcomed Undead Labs, Playground Games, who is currently working on their Forza games, or their latest one, Forza Horizon 4. And the big one, or they also had Compulsion Games, which is making We Happy Few. And the big shocker in that one was Ninja Theory. So for those who don't know Ninja Theory, they made the DMC or the Devil May Cry reboot, DMC. And they also recently made the game of the year by far for a lot of publications, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So now, keep in mind, Hellblade got a lot of its success because it was a PS4 release and a PC release. It only recently came to Xbox, and they now own that developer. So that's very interesting to me, and it makes me look forward to what Ninja Theory provides in the future, because, you know, it doesn't look to me like Ninja Theory is just going to be pumping out another Devil May Cry game. I don't even think they can at this point. But after Hellblade, it makes me wonder what their next project is going to be. So that was actually a really interesting and bold move for Microsoft. I'm going to give them credit for that. The next thing that actually got me interested was, again, We Happy Few. We got a little bit more information on it, including a legit story trailer that is haunting, but also very action-based and very Bioshock-y again. I'm really looking forward to this game, and I look forward to playing it on August 10th when it finally releases and giving it the review that it deserves. Next one that came up for me that was positive was Tales of Vesperia. I'm not a Tales fan, and in fact, a lot of RPG fans have been telling me you should be playing the Tales series. Why aren't you playing it? And this might be the one that brings me into it. Tales of Vesperia, I'm not saying anything bad about the previous ones, but this was a trailer that I got to see in a conference that actually got me interested. And so, yeah, I'm actually looking into playing Tales of Vesperia for a review. I think that would actually be a really cool thing to do. Next up was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I love that trailer, but I think I'm going to talk more about that in the Square Enix conference, because we got a little bit more information from there. The next big reveal that got me excited, though, from Xbox was Devil May Cry 5. Holy crap, that looked amazing. I love the fact that we're going back into the Devil May Cry universe. And I love the fact that we're going back into playing as Nero, it looks like, even though Dante looks like he's still technically in the game. Very excited for this, and in fact, for those who have been asking, yes, Brenton has also seen the trailer, and yes, we are actually strongly considering doing a blind playthrough of Devil May Cry 5, so you guys can get genuine reactions from both of us. Up next that was exciting was the Cuphead DLC, which is Delicious Last Course, adding a whole new island, whole new levels, whole new things, including a third playable character. The legendary Chalice is now going to become Miss Chalice, so you can have 3 playable characters instead of just 2. That was really cool. That's coming out in 2019. And also, DMC 5, or Devil May Cry 5, we don't have a release date. We'll probably hear about that soon. Another indie game that also caught my interest was Tunic, which is Zelda-like. It looked like Zelda meets Minecraft, kind of like the 3D dot heroes that we got way back when, except it's a little fox. So that was actually really interesting to watch. The next solid announcement that got me excited was Battletoads. So Rare's finally listening. They're going to go into one of their old properties and see if they can resurrect it. And they've decided to do it with Battletoads, and that's coming out 2019. I look forward to seeing what they actually put out. And that was... and the other reveal that actually got me really excited was, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, because both of the premier franchises of Xbox now have me kind of hooked. Because when Gears of War 5 showed up, and we got a full-on trailer that kind of explained the story we're going to be dealing with in Gears 5, I still have not played Gears 1. I've not really had a big interest in it. It's a post-apocalyptic story, so I'm not all that keen. This one might have actually hooked me in and made me want to play the other Gears of War games just to get caught up. That was actually a really good trailer and very haunting, but also very kind of paranoid. I look forward to seeing what they actually do with it. And that was the last major positive that I got out of the Xbox conference. Now, what did Xbox do wrong? They really didn't do a whole lot wrong as far as I'm concerned. Like, there are a couple of trailers that I just kind of said, nah, and they're probably going to be my negatives. But let's just kind of go down the list. There were a lot of trailers that actually caught my interest, and then as soon as I found out what they was, I was like, oh, well, I'm not playing that. The first one of this happening was Metro Exodus, but before that, we also got Fallout 76. There are big reveals there, but I've decided I'm going to do that on the Bethesda conference because we got more information on that as well from there. Crackdown 3 was also kind of a letdown because it was more of the same of what we'd seen already, more Terry Crews, more of the stuff I swear a lot of it we'd seen last year. So it wasn't necessarily a positive for me, but yeah, Crackdown 3, Metro Exodus, where trailers were like, oh, this looks really cool, and then, you know, either they'd have the name reveal or I'd just be like, oh, it's just too bad I'm not going to get it. Sea of Thieves also had the same reaction for me, as they had 2 expansions to announce, one in July, one in September, and Sea of Thieves just doesn't have me at this point, so I'm gonna just leave it there. Battlefield 5, trailer looked okay, wasn't really interested. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, again, wasn't really all that interested. Division 2, still not interested. I know that they've made significant improvements to the Division. A lot of people have been pointing that out to me, but it's again a post-apocalyptic world that I'm not invested in and I don't want to go and explore. So that one was a disappointment for me, but it's one of those things that they should have done anyway. Let's see. The next one that was weird, or that was a weird decision as far as I'm concerned, was Session. And it's basically that they're doing a skateboard game, you know, trying to cater to the Tony Hawk crowd. Great, good on you, but I wasn't interested. Black Desert was another trailer where it's like, oh, this looks really, really good. Too bad it's an MMO, and I'm not really interested. I already have way too many MMOs in my docket. Dying Light 2 was another one that was negative for me, and it's just because, again, more zombies, more post-apocalyptic. I'm just not there with everybody on it. And another positive I should point out was Just Cause 4. I'm not a fan of it, but that trailer was actually pretty funny in some cases. I should point that out. And with Gears, the other negative I'm going to point out is it was interesting for them to announce Gears of War 5. But before they announced that, they had 2 other announcements. One was Gears Pop, which is based off of Funko Pop figures. I'm not the biggest fan of them, and it looks like you're just going to get a whole new Funko line based on Gears of War 5. Congratulations, good on you, but to me, it was not the right step. They probably should have started with Gears of War 5 and then announced that, and it probably would have had more hype. But, I mean, even when the Xbox conference was going on, like, you had a couple of people clapping, but I think most of the people were silent. And Gears Tactics. Now, I've seen people kind of bounce back and forth on this one, saying it's basically Halo Wars for the Gears series, and they're not wrong. It is an RTS, but it's different in the regards of where Halo Wars wanted to be full-on RTS. This wants to be like XCOM. And even I got to admit, it looked kind of good, but since I'm not invested in the Gears series, it lost a lot of that right off the bat. Really, the Gears of War 5 trailer was what sold Gears for me, not Gears Tactics. And another bad move, at least as far as I'm concerned, I know that they had to do this, but was talking about Phil Spencer basically trying to do a philosophy of like, Xbox should be everywhere. You should be able to play on your Xbox. You should be able to play on your PC. You should be able to play on your phones. And then finally, he did announce that there is a team in Xbox working on the next console. In fact, they were the only console maker that teased that there was another console in the works. And I actually think it was kind of a bad and a lazy move for them. I think if they had more information to give, that would have been a better move. But they didn't have anything. They just basically said, oh, yeah, the team's working on it. More soon. So to me, that was actually a bad decision. And the iffies. Let's see. And we're not going to spend too much time on these because I don't want these videos to be horribly long. Nier Automata. Congrats to the Nier fans who don't already have it on PS4. That's great. I was very excited about that. Forza Horizon 4 looked really, really good, but I'm kind of done with racing games unless it's Mario Kart. Need for Speed was just that disappointing to me in the long run. Again, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, a lot of the stuff was very iffy to me. They also emphasized their Game Pass, which is just another monthly service as far as I'm concerned. Session, Black Desert, a lot of these were kind of iffy. They looked good, but they weren't necessarily bringing me in. Another kind of iffy was the announcement of Jump Force, which is basically, if people remember the Shonen Jump game that came out a while back, that was kind of an all-around brawler, but it had just Shonen Jump characters. I'm guessing this is kind of the sequel for it, and they tried to do a little bit more emphasis on that one. I'm trying to remember, did it even have a date? Yeah, it did, just 2019. I mean, it looked good, but it wasn't necessarily hugely worth investing in, given what they actually showed. We just basically had Naruto, Goku, and Monkey D. Luffy contending against Frieza. Okay, cool. It was just kind of an iffy thing for me. Although I have a feeling Romney will probably have better things to say about it. Yeah, Just Cause 4, again, looks really, really good. I'm not necessarily a Just Cause fan, so I'm glad for you guys. And then the last reveal of Cyberpunk 2077, which is being worked on by CD Projekt Red, aka the people who do The Witcher. It was a good reveal. Don't get me wrong. That was a really great way to be able to do that. But to me, I was kind of done. Like, they'd overloaded me on the announcements that I did get. So at that point, I'm like, this looks really, really cool. I'm just not necessarily into it just yet. I might watch the trailer later and see if it brings me in a little bit better than when I was watching then. So that's the goods, the bads, and all that. Where does Microsoft rate? I can't even believe I'm saying this because last year was kind of a step in the right direction. I think the year before that was too. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'm giving them like an A-. I think they did a really good job. They promised 50 games. They announced 50 games, and it was worth it to watch. I mean, even when you were getting games you weren't excited about and didn't care about, they looked good, and therefore you felt good for the fans that were there that were getting a new Metro game or a new Kingdom Hearts, for crying out loud. That was overall a really great and entertaining and engaging conference. So I'm going to give them an A- for that one. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for your continued love and support. And when we come back for the next vlog, we're going to be discussing the next one that was up on Sunday, and the second, not console developer, but development studio, as we take on Bethesda. We'll see you guys then.